tutor.
We're back. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
We are absent Maresco tonight. He's being a good fan, and he's at the Capitals game at the moment.
OG's running the show today.
That's right. It's back to the original two. That being said, we do have guests this week, and we're going to get right into it with the guests. In Maresco's absence, we'll pull them in for recaps and everything. These guests are from one of the prime fantasy football families in the league. They are actually two members from the same family as Josh. I'm sure that was probably obvious by this point. They're an interesting dynamic, a dynamic duo in the league, some could say. But without further ado, we'll bring in our one of the furthest time differences we have here, which is from Hawaii. We have Ben and Hannah here, so we'll pull them in. They're currently muted. Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay.
The heads of shame.
All right.
We just had a little CJ Stroud highlight on there coming in. I'm sure Ben has an opinion on CJ Stroud this week. Well, Ben and Hannah are here. We'll hop right into recaps.
Let's do it.
We'll let them sit there. Let's get into it. We can start off with a game I'd prefer not to talk about here, Josh, but we got to at least mention, which is Ryan and I's matchup. And this week we did have a couple studs and duds in this one. Michael Thomas throwing up a big old goose egg for Ryan, and Dalton Schultz being a lone bright spot on my team. But aside from that, it was pretty rough.
Yeah. I mean, I think, for Ryan, he's had a good stretch the past couple weeks. I think he's won 4 out of 5. Joe Burrow, I think, getting healthy has really kind of thrusted him into the limelight a little bit, and he's gotten some nice wins. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about your teams anymore. I feel like it's unfortunate. Just have a lot of bad luck, bro.
There are some changes that have come that we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yep.
Worth pointing out too. We haven't talked about waiver wire stuff too much this stage of things. We'll get into that in a later episode. But Dotson was a waiver wire pickup by Ryan this week or last week. This week, I want to say. We were both bidding on him. Ryan got him, played him, and I don't know if it's the exact difference between our matchup, but definitely played a role for our team. So our picks this week, we had Dan with us last week, the fake commissioner. Josh, you were the only one that got this one right. So well
Support
done.
You, Ryan. Support you.
Well done.
Just
coming into what was the fab game of the week, because this was rivalry week, but apparently Mitch and Dave was a prominent matchup, with Dave kind of getting handed a pretty bad loss here. I don't think there were any studs or duds in this one. Just Mitch beating up on Dave.
Yeah, I feel like Dave had a good run there going. I think, was it 2 weeks ago? 6-1.
Take it back. There were definitely a dud. I forgot Gino was in this game.
Yeah, Gino was in this game. But yeah, I think it just really kind of came down to his guys didn't really step up, and Mitch's did. Josh Jacobs, I think, probably his best performance of the year so far after the coaching change with Las Vegas. So
they did destroy the Giants. So
they did.
Do you think 4 and 5 at the moment, 9th in the league? Looking at Mitch putting up 120 points, I think he was in the hundreds last week as well. Do you think his current makeup is good enough to make a playoff push, Josh, or do you not think it's going to be consistent enough?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Mitch definitely has some pieces to definitely be in contention for sure. I think for him, I think some of us are kind of all dealing with this, but it's probably going to come down to the QB position. Will Justin Fields be back to kind of give him a nice stretch run there towards the end?
Yeah. Baker's been having a decent stretch, see if he keeps it up, but Fields is definitely the difference maker there, right?
Yeah.
Our picks this week were pretty bad, aside from Moresco, who went with Mitch. So all of the rest of us were kind of luck. All the rest of us were riding Dave's, high win streak capability. And this is a great matchup this week, Josh. It's too bad Moresco can't be with us for this one, because I'm sure he'd have some things to say. But how do you feel after getting, not really what was a poor showing from you and not a close game this week?
Yeah, I don't feel great. But also at the same time, shit happens. You just kind of gotta move on. I'm embracing where I'm at currently right now. I have a good feeling about my end of season stretch, so not too down about the loss. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Our picks on this one were unanimously in Moresco's favor, aside from you taking yourself, Josh. So strategy backfires again, picking yourself potentially?
No. It's just a bad week, Clark.
Fair enough.
A bad week.
Rolling along to the commissioner or co-commissioner's game, who was on last week. Talked about this game a little bit. I think we did have one dud in this week, being the Buffalo defense on Dan's team, but it really didn't matter. Still able to squeak out a win here, despite Dak Prescott kind of doing all he can to put Jonesy over the top.
Yeah, this is one of those, like, not to throw any shade at Dan, but I guess I'm gonna do it. It's one of those kind of like nasty wins where it's like, yeah, this team didn't really do that much to win, but he did just enough. I like Dan's Jake Ferguson pickup. I think he picked him up. It's probably been 5-6 weeks ago, but he's been really playing well. So it's a savvy pickup by Dan. On the flip side, Jonesy, he had a stellar performance from Dak, and Eckler showed up, but outside of that,
probably the lowest week you'll see from Kelsey, or hope to see from Kelsey this season, right? But it seems like a lot of tight ends are kind of coming into their own a little bit more as the midseason goes on. It was really rough early season. Seems like there's a little bit more production to be had there. Our picks this week, all of us went with Jonesy, except for the co-commissioner himself, who picked himself, got the win out of it.
Ouch.
Yeah. Leading us into another game that was a bit of a surprise, I think, to a lot of us. Not that Natalie's team isn't good. Clearly, it's very good. She's in first place. But I think a lot of us were thinking Matt's team was kind of geared up for some smoother sailing.
Yeah. I feel like I keep on waiting for Matt's team to just absolutely just obliterate one of our teams in the league, but he just really hasn't had that week where he's kind of put it all together.
He did have that 164-point week against me.
It's true. Just one, though. But
he had 140 one week too. He's been very up and down, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I mean, I think on the flip side, Natalie has Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. They just continue to produce. And then, she made a savvy trade, which we'll probably get into a little bit more. Tight end position. It's always nice when you get 20 from the tight end position, man. That's the dream. But yeah, I mean, just would have thought it would have been closer, but
once again, Commissioner Dan with the breakaway pick.
There we go.
Ended up putting the stuff over the top with this one.
Yep.
Which brings us into a matchup that involves, Blockhead 1 or Blockhead 2 over here on our screen. A close, not close loss necessarily, but you would have beat a lot of other teams in the league this week. What's your gut reaction to this?
I lost, honestly, because of forgetfulness. I had dropped I dropped my defense, the Chargers, previous week when everybody was on bye. 100% was planning on picking them up this week. Forgot and got beat because of it. So it was a hard loss. I was like, this is painful, but yeah. I had a lot of hope going into Monday though, but yeah.
Yeah, well, you had a chance to come back Monday, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, no, I was fully done. Sorry, I was done on Sunday, but I was still projected to win.
Right.
And then yeah, obviously, the Chargers went and got it done. So yeah, purely from forgetfulness. I had every intention of picking them back up this week, and it didn't happen.
Oh, so. That does stink.
Yeah, it's brutal.
There were a plethora of studs and duds in your matchup this week on both sides, with that defense being one of them. CeeDee Lamb really coming into his own over the last couple of weeks, though.
Yeah.
You've gotten some massive performances out of him.
Yep.
But tough one to lose. Yeah. Weggy's probably very happy. Josh, what did you think about this one?
Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, going in, I was watching the matchup going into Monday night. I was like, yeah, nah, this is it's over for Kevin. It is what it is. And then it happened to switch on the game. so like within a couple minutes, saw the special teams touchdown. Next thing you know, Kevin texts me. He's like, hell yeah. And I was like, what? I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So that's
I don't know if it's much of a consolation, but I'm pretty sure all of us did pick your team, Hannah.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that you let us down.
Sorry to let you down. Yep.
You let us down.
It was looking good, but yeah.
It's okay. It leads us nicely into potentially a bigger letdown of the week, which is this final matchup, which your compatriot over there might want to weigh in on. We'll let you have the floor first, Ben.
Yeah, I've prepared a poem. It's called A Fantasy Poem by Win for Colin. Red zones are red, the Giants are blue. I suck at fantasy, and so do you. You doomed me from the start. Pickens flowers for my grave. The cook served me my last meal with a glass of Chardonnay. Red zones are red. The Giants are poo. I suck at fantasy, and so do you. All the young ways we used to go, it was all so very cool. It hurts to hear your name, but I'm proud of what you do. Red zones are red. The Giants are blue. I suck at fantasy, and so do you. Just in case we never meet up in Vegas town, sweet Justice Hill, oh, what a climb. We'll waddle our way down. Red zones are red. The Giants are blue. I suck at fantasy, and so do you. Ain't no tequila sunshine for me today, although it's really nice out, actually. My own brother has bested me, and that's the truth, actually. Red zones are red. The Giants are through. I suck at fantasy. We know it's true. So I just made that ode on Monday when Justin Herbert really he was amazing for me with under 7 points, and what a stud. But I would like to note that Micah has actually outperformed projection for the last 3 weeks. Rather than my team underperforming, I actually overperformed. Micah for the last 3 weeks has overperformed by 20, 30, 20 points. So Micah wins this round, and it's a devastating loss, and I'll continue to wear this bag of shame until I destroy Clark on Sunday.
Oh, we'll see what happens. Good poem though. That was well put together.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Many Easter eggs in there.
Yeah, a lot of name dropping, including your dud of the week at the running back position there, and then also obviously Micah's Stroud and Koo references as well.
Whew. Yeah, that's Stroud performance, man. That was unreal.
I mean,
somewhere cousin Ryan is kicking himself for trading away the Stroud boy.
we will chat about that here in a second. Going into Monday night, Ben, you were down like 7 points, and he had Conklin to play, and you had Herbert, and it was I very much so thought that you were going to walk away with the game, but I did not think Conklin would end up with more points from Monday Night Football than Justin Herbert.
Yeah, it was unexpected, disappointing, and it's not the end of the world. But I've been getting a lot of looks around town wearing this paper bag over my head for the last couple of days. So you live and you learn. Don't trust your fantasy team without McCaffrey at all.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
The rest of us also trusted your fantasy team, Ben. As we're all aware, a sweep of picks in Ben's direction.
Bad week, bro.
That led us all astray.
You're welcome, gents.
Yeah, that does bring us to our recap for the week, which is the worst picking week to date for everyone involved, with Josh and I only getting 1 correct, Maresco only getting 2, and our guest for the first time in Two Timers history outperformed all of the hosts while still in the red. 3 and 4, Dan picked more correct than we did, so makes him the winner. Josh and I obviously the biggest losers. I think we agreed on $8 of fantasy fab last week, Josh, which means Maresco, you and I will be totaling $24 of fab sent Dan's direction from our pots. So it doesn't feel good.
No, it does not feel great. I don't feel like Dan needs it either.
I mean, he's got it now. He can do with it as he wishes. We're still ahead of the guests in terms of picking for the year, marginally. Where it's getting closer, but is what it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of fab for this past week, though, the category was the winner of the Dave and Mitch game, as decided by the picker wheel, because it was rivalry week, of which obviously Mitch won. So Mitch will get the standard $5 fab that comes with, completing a picker wheel category. If you want more fab than that, you've got to come on to the Two Timers and wager more, which you could potentially earn. I mean, the going rate right now is $24. So we shall see what happens. While we're here on the fab discussion, let's quickly do the fab for this upcoming week. We're going to make it a little bit simpler for this one. And we are going to just do at the end of this upcoming week. So after the week has happened, once matchups are all done, so next Tuesday, once they're locked in, the position you are in the league, that's what will determine your number here. Whatever number the picker wheel lands on, that team in that position will receive the $5 of fab. So we can go ahead and spin away. We'll already eliminate some people off the bat here, but we'll see where you might be able to get fab.
Oh, I like it.
6th.
All right.
So the team in 6th position at the end of next week's matchups will get fab. That opens up to a lot of people, to be fair. I think there's a lot of people that could mathematically end up in 6th at the end of next week. But that kind of brings us out of last week's recaps, and we'll hop into a little section here that we don't have branded or termed yet, but it's kind of an interview of the guests where we'll have some questions for Ben and Hannah regarding the league, general participation. So Josh, I'll let you kind of take things away here.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming on the show, guys. Wanted to start it off with asking you guys how you feel about the league expansion so far. Any thoughts or feelings?
I think it's fine. I get a lot more text messages every day. I'm a little afraid I'm going to go over on my text for the month.
We're on a 200 text per month plan, so
that's a distance. It's a distance for you guys.
Brian Dickerson's going to be getting a A bill in the mail.
And they're all roaming because we're in the middle of the Pacific. So I don't know.
We're screwed.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Ryan needs to just chill on silent auctions and just take it like a man, Ryan. Take it like a man.
Fine. It definitely has a different feel this year. Has a different feel, but it's okay. I would say no more after this. No more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Joining from Capital One Arena.
What's up, Roscoe?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
You have 2 of something Ben wants.
2 championships.
This is a PG show. We don't talk about that stuff.
Oh, my bad. What's going on with the
Ben,
paperbacks?
They both
We
lost.
played like trash this week, so we figured we'd dress like it.
For the first time this year, Hannah and I
just
lost.
common in Hawaii.
Hannah and I lost the same week, so we're both in mourning. We both we're shaming each other. So she put it on my head, and I put her paper bag on hers. So. Shame.
Same question to you though, Ben. While we're here and Maresca's here, 14-team league, pros, cons, in favor. If you could do it again, if you could rewind in time, would you still open the league up to 14 teams, or would you say keep it at 12?
Well, at first, I really want to know where Maresco is. Is he in the MCI Center, then named Verizon Center, then named Capital One Arena?
That is where I'm in. Ben, I'm in the stairwell of the exit on the 400 level.
Unbelievable. What dedication.
He's in the handicap stall.
How dare you, sir? Get back in there and support the Caps. Golly.
It's a break in the period, brother.
That's the optimal time to cheer because it's quiet. Yeah, I love the addition. I hate. Sorry, moped going by. I hate losing.
Are you guys living in a house of cardboard as well?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
cost of paradise.
Yeah. Pros and cons. Yeah. So I hate losing to my little brother, who doesn't believe in running backs. Also has no idea about fab and waiver wire and whatnot. But I love him, so I'm willing to give him a win. Ryan, on the other hand, he was gloating on me as soon as I woke up at about 4 a.m. on Tuesday morning my time, and I had a text from said Ryan Dickerson at iCloud.com saying, "Wow, what a colossal failure you are," and it was just not something that I was keen to read. So I could go both ways. I could say take away people like Maresco.
Survivor style.
Yeah, Survivor style. Like, Maresco has 2 of something I want. I could just have those. My son is trying to jump off the balcony here. And then I go the other way, and I love having Micah and Ryan. So, no, in all honesty, it's been a great it's been fun. I think the waiver wire has been much more competitive. There's really nobody around. Like, I went to go look for a wide receiver depth this week, and there was just nothing there. So I kind of like that. I really like the nuance of fantasy. Kickers. Matt Giles hates kickers and he hates tight ends, but I love Taysom Hill. So yeah, I love those. Having to like scrap and claw for each point is really fun to me.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's definitely more requires more future planning. That's for sure. Got to pick up people that are like handcuffs or that you think will be relevant in a bye week comparatively to past years for sure. I guess you kind of touched on it, losing to Micah, but I am curious from both of your perspectives. It could be anyone in the league, but specifically if it's a family member, who do you see as your biggest rival? Who do you hate losing to the most? And who do you think is the easiest win in the league?
So it can be out of anybody. But it would
can
be
out of anyone. Family. Yeah. I mean, if it was like Micah, that would be pretty applicable to Ben this week. But it can be anyone.
I feel like out of family, Ben, you're my biggest rival. I hate losing to Weggy. I don't know why. That's why I was really pissed off this week. I love you, Weg, but I hate losing to you. So Yeah, I don't know why. That just like it pisses me off. So
Grinds the gears.
That one messes with me.
So she considers him a brother, I guess. I guess.
We have thrown up together, so I guess he's my brother.
Damn, that's a story. What a doozy that was.
Easiest win.
I have so many questions, but I'm not going to get into it right now.
Easiest win.
Nissan Pavilion. That's all I'll say.
Mitch.
All right, come here.
So I assume the question is mirrored for me as well, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
He's like, what's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, I'd say that Josh is probably my biggest rival because he actually cares about fantasy. Daniel doesn't really care. So I'd say the team formerly known as the Brees and Walker Show, which makes no sense at all. That guy is my biggest rival. I also consider Hannah a rival of sorts, but yeah, we're both losers this week.
Sounds so depressed. So down.
He's probably like, what happened to my face?
Jack is very
He's
confused.
low-key horrified.
I do have a suggestion though for the league if we are going to get to that question.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. That's one of our questions. There's going to be changes and suggestions.
Yeah, I do think that Ryan is hearkening to something very interesting in that I find myself very I'm talking over you. I'm just kidding. I do find that during the week it would be fun to be competitive. So I wonder if there's like some kind of competition we can engage for the waiver wire itself. I mean, I like Survivor, I like League Pick'em, but I wonder if there's a way for us to incentivize people being more active during the week. So perhaps like if somebody beats multiple bids, they get like extra fab, because I think it's really fun when we see somebody trumping everybody else's bid for the same player, because it goes to show you that everybody realized that value and went for it, and then somebody went for it, and that way we could see a lot more bidding because people are like, if I win, I get the 5 fab for winning bid of the week or something like that.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't hate that idea.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of definitely makes things funner during the week. Just as long as it doesn't put, I guess, a ton more work on like Dave's plate, right? Like
he has 2. He needs 1 more before he gets any pity from me and Hannah and Matt. Well, and Molly, but
he'll be fine. He can transition fab around in the league. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he could use Dan, who is a faux commissioner.
That's right. I don't know if we trust Dan with finances after
Dan only
earlier
has
this
2
year. He was talking about betting league funds earlier in the year. So see what that commissioner's stance is.
Maybe we should vote for a new co-commissioner.
Wow.
Vote Dan out.
Are you voting for Are you proposing a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum's leadership?
So this is how democracy dies.
Yeah.
Thunderous applause.
That's fun.
In terms of midweek, I guess competition, you could say, we do have this week something that ties into that a little bit. I don't know if I'd call it competition, but we have a little trade corner.
Been a busy few weeks.
There's been a lot of action on the trading block over the since the last time we talked about trade corner. The last trade that we talked about was a trade that involved Josh and a certain Colts quarterback. Since then, there have been 6 trades in the league of varying levels of significance. one of which happened very recently between Josh and I.
Yep.
But I think this kind of leads into a couple questions. We can discuss these trades directly, but Ben and Hannah, I think, have either of you participated in trades this year, and what would it take to get you into a trading position if you have not?
I have not traded. I've had some offers. I feel like people are starting to poach my team because they think that I don't have any chance of making it. But I'm not a big fan of trading. I don't like trading. Plus, I feel like I always get offered, 3-4 people for one, and I'm like, no. I'm not. I don't pretend to know everything, but I'm not that stupid.
Yeah, the uneven trade numbers are always tough. That's a Dave Dean special right there.
Yeah. Not to name names, but sure. Yeah, I'm a very stingy trader. Sorry.
Oh, technical difficulties on the Hawaiian side. Josh, let's discuss. You've been a very avid trader on the other side of things, right? As has Micah, for that matter. So you were in a trade, as you can see, Kenneth Walker is up here on the board twice in the last 10 days, being traded to and away from you. What's kind of your take on trades? What looks like a good trade to you, and what kind of gets you to that point?
Oh man, dude, I love trading. I think trading is my favorite thing to do in fantasy. And it's honestly becoming a problem. I kind of went into this year telling myself, I was like, I'm not going to do any trades this year. Or I might do like one in the past couple of weeks. I've just kind of backed down on that.
Do you think your trading strategy this year has been, because Hannah kind of alluded to this, and we'll pull them back on screen here in a second. Has it been more in the lines of setting up for next year, like kind of calling it quits, or more geared towards putting yourself into a better position to win?
So, to be honest, I'm surprised, like where I'm at records wise this year. I felt like going into the year, I wanted to be competitive, but also at the same time, my expectations kind of going into the league, some trades that I made early in the off season with you, sort of like laying the foundation of like, I want to get some pieces that potentially I can have
right
period of time. And sort of treat this year as like, again, try to be as competitive as I possibly can be, but also like, I don't know if winning a championship is like realistic for me. But like, I made the trade with Matt a few weeks ago. I felt like it was a trade that helped me this season, as well as next season, just because Walker has great keeper value. But then I got a little worried with his usage. There were some other factors, and I was like, I'm still in a position to kind of make a run here. So that was sort of my thought process, and I felt like, you and I were a good match, just in terms of like the pieces that we gave each other. So yeah. No,
that makes sense. What's your thought? And Ben, we can loop you in here too to talk about trades. I know not even to talk about the trade that we prospectively discussed, but your perspective on trades, because the league at this stage, I feel like kind of turns into teams that are legitimate title contenders and in the playoffs or playoff hunt, and then teams that are kind of on the way down that are probably more looking for keeper value. And what that can tend to do, which can be frustrating sometimes, because I've tried to trade with some people in the league at various points over the years where it becomes like, oh, I'm going to wait until the turning point in the league when people are definitely out and then people are contending, where I can get like the deals on value for players right now. And then the players that are, more keeper oriented is kind of going to go to the teams that end up not being as competitive. So from a strategy perspective, how do you approach trading? And what would it take for you to make a trade, given that kind of structure in our league right now?
Well, Josh's trade corner is a smoky place with lots of gray areas, lots of haze, lots of unknowns, lots of, people smoke and mirrors. So we wanted to. I mean, this is a victory, Stogie. I'm celebrating my victory against Clark already. Yeah. I'm bringing the heat.
Would you like to make our match? Well, we'll get into that.
We're just hoping we don't catch on fire. But
that too.
I'm just waiting for some.
That's good content right there. If this thing lights my bag on fire. But I think there's a fine line. But at the same time, like, look where I am. I was in first. I shouldn't have lost to Micah, but like, good props to him. But I'm where I am because I made the trades I made last year. So Olave, Waddle, and Mostert. Matt, I got 2 of those from Matt and 1 of those from Jonesy. Sorry, I had to think about that. And I think that that's what everybody should be doing, right? So if you know that you're not going to make the playoffs, I think the key is to plan for next year. And yeah, I did lose the toilet bowl. You, Clark, had the most losses. But you did well in the consolation bracket. So, like, anyone can still win. I think I lost to Dave by less than a point. So Dave could easily have been the back-to-back toilet champion. So I think that the league is incentivized to plan for the future as long as you're willing to stay in. Obviously, Moped, as long as you're willing to, brace for the consequences and stay in the league. Obviously, we lost Colin, which was a shame, but
yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, you look at the trade, Micah's win comes pretty much directly on the back of his CJ Stroud trade, right? That's the primary reason he was able to beat you, being the Sutton move. Don't know if Ryan's kicking himself for that one or not.
yeah,
I don't know if Ryan has the flexibility to kick himself like that. I've seen him play Ultimate Frisbee. I don't think that he's that limber.
it's me, still me.
He's getting up there,
Hot ash all over my phone. I'm gonna talk to T-Mobile real quick. Stop it, Jack. They can't know my identity.
It's our first Stogie, so.
Josh, any final thoughts on the trade side of things here?
In terms of our trade or like other trades?
Just the kind of the trade structure of the league, like how the league is now in a place where it kind of ends up being keepers for current value, which isn't unlike what real sports are like, but it can lopside the trade and it can de-incentivize certain people from trading, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really it's definitely interesting, like, having discussion, because it is tricky because there could be trades that are made the next few weeks that really kind of pull in favor of the person who's like in contention or whatever. But to Ben's point, if you can build and set yourself up for the next year, like, why wouldn't you do that? You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
But yeah, like, I think there is some gray when it comes to finding that balance. And so, but yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying the amount of trades that are happening in our league. It warms my heart.
It does seem to be on an uptick this year comparatively to past years, for sure.
Yeah.
We can hop over to picks now. Josh, do you have anything else from a questioning perspective to the smoking bag heads over here?
No.
Team name change.
Band name, I claim it.
Let's get to the picks before the
smoking bag heads is fire. Come on, pun intended.
Yeah, quite literally, right? All right, let's get to picks for the week. Maresco, you still on? He is still on. There we go. All righty, let me pull this up. We'll get into the game that's already been touted as a win by Ben, being him and I this week. And we'll go in an order. So we'll have Maresco, me, Josh, Ben, and Hannah choose. And then we'll do me, Josh, Ben, and Hannah, Maresco, and onwards. So everyone kind of has a first and last chance.
Gonna have to go with Ben this one.
I'm also going to choose Ben.
My guy.
Sadly.
Clark. What are you talking about?
I mean, I might be trying to make some changes. We'll see. It might depend on some trades that I'm exploring right now, how viable my team will look this week.
If you know who, well, yeah, that kind of ruins it. But if you know who plays this week, then we're on.
That's a good question. So I guess Ben and I have been talking about trading Justin Jefferson for Olave potentially. It's been in and out of talks for the last, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Obviously, very contingent on JJ's health, what Ben would be getting back, kind of what it looks like. But also that trade dynamic could change a lot if Justin Jefferson comes back and is Justin Jefferson this week, right? So it's risky right now, which is obviously, I think, a big reason why we haven't pulled the trigger on it. And I understand Ben's perspective from that. But that could be a big turner in our game decision this week, one way or the other.
Yeah. They opened the practice window for him, so that's a good sign.
Yep.
But is it my pick?
Yeah, your pick, Josh.
I need some wins, so I'm gonna have to play it safe here and go with Ben.
Ben and Hannah, y'all's pick individually, obviously.
Hannah? Oh, Hannah picks her fellow loser in crime.
Yeah.
And I also puff on my victory stogie and pick myself.
Okay, another sweep for Ben. That happens quite often in our picks. It doesn't always work out. So we'll have to see what happens. This pick will go to me first. It's a David versus Micah matchup. I don't think that Micah is going to be able to continue to put up points. I think even though they're both projected low, I think David will pull this one out. Although his team's looking really thin.
Micah's looks pretty thin too.
Yeah, I'm going David. I don't think Gino has back-to-back dud weeks, but we'll see. I'm going Dave. Good to see you, Josh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dave.
Ben and Hannah?
I'm going Mika.
I'm going Dave. I don't get why he's trying to troll me with Jeff Wilson as his name, but he is a champion, and I'm not, so I'm going to defer to him.
I'm going to go Micah. I think Micah pulled it out again.
Wow.
Hannah and Maresco with the poll for Tequila Sunshine. We'll have to see what happens there. This one is going to go to Josh. You first. This is Maresco versus Mitchell. Both 4 and 5 teams.
I'm going to go Mitchell Thorson.
Ben and Hannah goes to you.
Stand by. We're looking at the matchup.
I can show bench if you need it as well.
There's probably on the video.
We're looking at the bench.
Number of buys.
Bench is important. Unlike all these other clowns, bench is important.
He's got AJ Brown on bye. Oof.
Yeah, AJ Brown on bye. Go ahead, Hey.
I'm gonna go Chris.
I'm going Mitchell Thorsten. Extra T.
I'm going to go myself.
Of course you are.
What's our perspective on Dobbs as the Minnesota starting quarterback here?
You want my honest opinion? You want honesty?
I'll give you honesty. I think you're nothing.
I think that Josh Dobbs benefits from the chaos surrounding his own starting role. So I think he's going to regress a little bit to the mean. But if JJ comes back, then it's going to be hard to fail because Addison is legit. As I said, and no one believed me, that Gibbs and Addison were going to be an incredible steal for Mr. Eckler, who is, kind of mid. So I think that Dobbs benefits from the chaos. So he like rips off some runs. So my unexpert opinion on Joshua Dobbs is that he might regress and then he'll proceed further when JJ comes back.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to go. I agree with you on Dobbs. I'm actually going to go with you, Maresco, mainly because I think Amari and Jacobs have really tough matchups with the Jets in Baltimore this week. So I want to pick Mitch, but I can't do it this week. Which leads us to Dan versus Ryan. And I think, is this you, Maresco?
I think it's Ben and Hannah first.
Ben and Hannah first.
The Island of Misfit Toys sounds like a Walt Disney short that never saw the cutting room floor because of its like grotesque storyline. And then they turned it into Pinocchio. So I'm gonna go with Cooper Bowl because it's much more PG. I have 3 children. I can't be talking about an Island of Misfit Toys.
It's toys, not boys. It's fine.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, same difference. Again, yeah. So I'm just gonna go with Dan
For legal reasons.
for legal reasons.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dan.
I'm also going with Dan. I think Ryan regresses this week.
Going Dan.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Ryan. A little out on a limb, but I'm gonna give it a go this week. Let's see what happens. Jonesy, Natalie, this is to you, Maresco. Number 1 overall versus number 8.
I'm gonna go Jonesy.
I'm also gonna go Jonesy.
I'll go Jonesy.
Ben and Hannah.
Well, Hannah.
Is Natalie's bench all pissed?
Ow.
Kittle's back. She doesn't have one right
see.
now.
Well, Hannah goes. I'm going to pick Natalie because we keep doubting her, and she keeps on performing, and Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are not on bye. They are playing, so I think she overperforms. We'll mute until Hannah's ready.
Too Kittle, too late. Let's do it.
All right. Keeping it with the family.
That's right. As Dom Toretto would say, all you got is family.
Brings us to a co-host matchup here that's only 1 win difference in victory, but 5 places on the current standing board. So I don't know who I want in this matchup. Josh, I'm going to trust the people that I just traded to you and say that I think you get a win with some new additions here. Or a new addition, because we'll see what happens with Bijan.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out with myself.
Ben and Hannah, so you guys. Or Maresco, you can go ahead while we're waiting on him.
I'm going to go Kevin. I just think Josh's team is ass. Nothing you can trade for is going to save him.
Well, Taylor Heineke said that this is his Super Bowl, which is that's a statement. That's a statement. So I'm gonna go brotherly shove. Taylor Heineke is gonna throw for 3 touchdowns. He's gonna run for another one, and he's gonna get a nice pair of kicks. Book it. Your pick, babe.
Oh, Josh.
Wow. No analysis, just emotion. Again, I'm Toronto family.
Hannah, that brings us to the last matchup of the week, which is yours against Matthew. We'll let you have first pick.
I mean, I think I have to vote for myself. Me, what the heck, me?
Yeah, that's a mistake, babe.
That's okay.
I'm gonna go with Matt.
I'm not. Nothing's gonna happen.
Maresca, we can go to you.
I'm gonna go with. Sorry, it's really loud here all of a sudden. I'm gonna go with Hannah.
Going with Hannah.
We
Wow.
beat the English once. We can do it again.
I just think Matt's team is hot and cold, and he had a hot week last week. I think he's gonna have a cold week again.
Interesting. I think he's going to play through. I'm going Matt. Sorry, Hannah.
I'm gonna go Hannah.
He's not sorry.
I think
I don't
Devontae
feel
Adams
that
has
bad.
a redemption game.
Devontae Adams is supposed to have had a redemption game like every game this year. The Raiders just don't like him.
Devontae versus Sauce all day, Josh.
I have
don't know
all
about
the
that.
ingredients, but I don't know. It's been a weird year.
Yep. They didn't
It
need
has
him
been a
last
very
week.
weird year.
They didn't need him last week. They just ran all over the Giants.
Well, we'll see what happens. That's our picks for the week. We do have some unfinished business between two of the two-timers here, being Josh and Maresco. There was a wager placed last week, I think, on their matchup that is still up in the air.
I just want
Josh
the hot
is
yoga
looking
picks.
confused.
I want the hot
Maresco
yoga
knows what I'm
picks,
talking
Josh.
about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that'll be next week when I come back from my trip.
Sounds like excuses.
You know,
I think you should do it on vacation.
actually, I probably can. I think I can actually do that.
All right.
I think if there's any way you can attempt to instruct the class, Josh, if you go up to the instructor at the beginning and be like, "No, I'll take this one," and then we could get footage of that, that would be ideal.
I'll see what I can do.
Well,
See what I can do.
Did we wager anything on picks this week or no?
we didn't. Do you guys want to retroactively wager any fab on picks, Ben and Hannah? Normally what we do, we all have to agree on the amount, all five of us,
No.
and then winner, best records will take the pot of picks or ties. It'll split potentially, but
What about like 2 this week?
we all lost 8 last week, so I'm down to do 2.
2's fine with me.
2's fine with me as well.
2?
Economy.
All right.
Inflation.
Ben, you go with that?
Sure.
$2 a fab all around, winner take all, or it might split or whatever. We'll see what happens with the picks. So great. Well, that's all we really had. Ben, I don't know if you want to make our matchup more interesting. You're talking pretty confidently over there. You want to put anything on our game?
I'm gonna roll, guys.
See you,
Maresco.
Maresco.
Go Caps.
Enjoy the game.
No, but I think we should do something interesting. If if I lose, we'll talk. I'm not.
We'll talk.
I'm not in a position with this bag over my head to really kind of take stock of my surroundings and understand what's going on. But if I lose, I will make it worth your while. How about that?
All right, sounds good to me. We'll figure something out. Well, on that note, we don't have any clever wrap up or anything here, Josh. Anything from you?
No, I think that's it. It's been a fun show.
Sweet. Ben and Hannah, thanks for coming on. Good to see your faces, true colors over here.
Thanks for having us.
We'll wish you well this week.